Well, Threepenny Opera is one of the most classic historical plays. It's from the 20th century, written by Germans Bertolt Brecht and Kurt Weill. It's this really interesting story adapted from The Beggar's Opera, a British play, and it's about this notorious London criminal named McKeith, or Mac the Knife, as other people know him. And he meets a girl named Polly Peachum, and they get married, or so she thinks. And he ends up getting in a lot of trouble with the police because of Polly's parents turning him in. And he eventually is sentenced to be hanged. And we find out there's other women involved. There's these really interesting scenes in whorehouses and stuff. And you think he's going to be hanged, but spoiler alert, he's not. Basically, the theme is that there's no justice. And it's really interesting to see how it all plays out throughout the play.
See the shark with teeth like razors, all can read him.
Well, I'm singing in the show, and that's something I don't do very often. So I had to do a lot of looking in my mirror to make sure that while I was singing, to make sure that I didn't just look terrified as I was feeling.
Mostly I just had to go over my lines 9 trillion times because we only had 1 month of rehearsal, which is not a lot.
Well, we had about a month of rehearsals, and during that time we learned basically the blocking and all of the music and everything like that. But for me, I also looked into some of the, previous performances of the role. Like, they actually have a film version, including the original girl who played Polly for the stage production, actually doing the film role too. So it was really interesting to see how she did it and how I could draw from that. But I also had to research the style of Brecht's plays because he has this really interesting style where it's really not realistic at all. And I'm used to only doing realistic plays. So I had to look into finding out, how I could make that style of his come to life.
McKeith is kind of like the king of the crime of London back in the Victorian era, but that's when he knows how to do best, and that's how he's gotten by. He could do more, but this is what he knows how to do, and he likes it. But he's the bad guy, but everyone kind of likes him. He's charming, and people are drawn to him. Trying to find when I should be the charming McKeith, when I should be the evil McKeith, when I should be the loving McKeith, which is rare.
At some points, particularly the final scene where you think McKeith is going to be hung, and that's her husband, of course, and there's this combination of being extremely upset that he's dying, and yet you're like, oh my god, this is a hanging, this is the best form of entertainment at this time, I'm so excited. So that was one of the struggles I had, because I had to find the balance between her being really upset and her being like, this is awesome, this is so cool. But I just looked into how I thought I would feel and tried to go from there.
The merry paraplegic, always cheerful.
This show definitely has a lot more makeup and costume aspects than a lot of the stuff that we normally do. So the makeup is a lot more intricate, the costumes are a lot more specialized, there's a lot of glitter that goes into the process. And also, since it's an alumni show, it's a little bit different because people of all ages, like faculty, students, alumni, freshmen, all the way up to people, professors who are about to retire next year, are all working together. I definitely think there's a certain level of mentorship that happens because a lot of the younger people, like people that are freshmen, they can't even fathom the idea of graduating, and like what happens after that. And a lot of them are even really new to acting, like this might be their first show. So they're learning a lot, they're asking a lot from people. So I think there's definitely an element of that, like learning and teaching and that like unique bond that happens.